What's going on, guys? Welcome to an episode of the Booth Podcast. My name is Ken, along my co-host. And today is episode 51. And today we have a special guest, actually, who's our first non-physical, virtual guest. You want to introduce yourself, man?
Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Brandon Lee. Thanks for having me, Dom and Ken. Huge fan of the pod.
Thank you,
Huge fan of yours, sir. Huge fan of yours.
I just kind of just know you surface level, but huge fan. So I'm a bandwagon real quick.
Right for
we
those
about to get to know each other, man.
yeah, for those of you that don't know Brandon Lee, what is it that you do, sir?
Well, I am an actor, former stunt performer, and former USA Taekwondo national team member.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Dude, I feel like I'm just bragging.
Hey man, it's fine. We want to hear this. You know, it's
Like,
your accomplishments. We're proud of it. You gotta be proud of it.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Wait, I didn't know
Appreciate it,
you
man.
made USA national team. That's crazy.
Yeah, for freestyle Pumze.
If you don't know what freestyle pumze is, like when they're doing all the flips and stuff.
Oh, flips.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Have you ever seen Brandon do? Oh, that's crazy.
No,
I'll show you
no.
after. I'll show
Yeah,
you
yeah.
after. Sorry. Let's get into that though. Because the topic that we're surrounding, guys, is mostly about like kind of taking risks. Because when I had done how I met Brandon was like I did an interview for an assignment, and his story. I'll let him tell his story, but it's like what came about of this journey. Like, how did you start this journey in acting?
Well, I think like you and I, like our influences are really similar, Dom. I remember you told me like for me, I grew up watching like Jackie Chan, Power Rangers, all that cool stuff. And my dad is also a Taekwondo master and he owns a Taekwondo school. So I pretty much like grew up doing it like my whole life. Like apparently I could like kick before I could walk. Like I would like crawl onto like a couch and be like, yeah, and, like try to kick. But then like I would always just try to copy them all the time. I would like be doing stunts around my house and be hurting myself nonstop. And my parents would yell at me and stuff. Uh, but yeah, kind of like growing up in the Midwest. I grew up in Minnesota. I don't know if anyone's gonna know where that is, but hey, it's right below you guys.
Big
So
time,
maybe you don't
all I
know.
know is Minnesota's from Big Time Rush. That's all I remember. That's all I remember. It's snowy there.
I'm gonna pretend I know
Yeah.
where it is.
But yeah, it's like I grew up like in an area that was very like predominantly Caucasian. There was not many Asians in my area, so like wasn't very diverse. So I never really embraced who I really was, and I never really saw the opportunity to like get into stunts or acting or anything in the industry, even though I always wanted to. And then like I got really lucky one time randomly. There was like this talent school in Minnesota called DNA Talent, and then my dad just like submitted me into it without even telling me, and I randomly got a call, thought it was a scam, went there and auditioned. Apparently it wasn't a scam. And then like I was training at that place for maybe like 5 months in college. But like I was going to college at the same time, which was 2.5 hours away from the other school. So I would drive home on the weekends, and y'all know like the weekends are the most lit.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I sacrificed that time. I would drive all the way home from the weekends every single weekend, 2.5 hours, 5 hour round trip just to take those classes.
Mhm.
And then eventually like there was like this showcase in LA where like my current manager, she came to the school and like re-auditioned everyone and picked people on the team. And then we flew out to LA, and it's kind of just like this showcase where like agencies and managers are looking for new talent. So you just like do scenes or you do improv or whatever. And for like runway, there's all kinds of different like events, I guess. Kind of like a track and field, but for like Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's like a bunch of different events. And then I got lucky enough to be signed, and I wasn't planning on like I got declined from the school I was gonna transfer to in college anyways.
Right.
And I hated college. So I was like,
Everything just
they
aligned.
told me to move to LA, and I was like, okay, I'll send it.
Yeah.
And then I've been here for about 4 years now. So that was like a really long like
Oh my
version
God.
of that question. But yeah.
Did you know that you wanted to do act? Like, because I don't think even at that age, I don't even think we really know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there have been many times me and Ken were like transitioning from high school or post-secondary. Sorry, high school to post-secondary.
College, university.
Yes, and it was just like we had so many conversations later, and I just like I don't even know if I want to stick to this.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like Ken went from.
I went like completely like different route. Like my story is just like I wanted to be a computer engineer ever since like ever since I was like in grade 8, just because I was influenced by Phase, because I wanted to make computers for them.
like the COD,
like Phase Up, like
bro. Dude, I watch their videos all the time.
Right,
man.
I did too, man. I was like, yo, I want to, because they were sponsored by
Ironside?
Ironside Hammer or something like that, where they
Something
made
like
the PCs. I'm like, oh, I want to make a PC for them, learn how to code everything. Took computer science class in grade 10. I passed, but it wasn't for me, so I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? And later on, I wanted to make shoes, to be a Nike designer, like footwear designer, and then eventually I went into university for industrial design, so like product designs type stuff. Turned out, yo, this thing is kind of not my path. Like it became work. I didn't like it as much anymore, right?
Yeah.
So then I dropped out. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do now. So I took marketing, and now that's what I do. And then I just picked up like fashion design or like sewing, and now I like make stuff. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, that's props to you, because I feel like most people, they like, once they tell everyone they're gonna do this, and then even when they find out they don't like it, they don't have the balls to go find something else that they like. But that's like props to you that you did that multiple times, because you like you genuinely just like didn't want to do that. And you know, most people would be like, oh, that's dumb, or like whatever, but you just like, fuck, I don't care what you say.
I don't give a fuck.
Ken has this thing of just not giving a damn.
Yeah, like if I do it, I do it,
bro.
Like I don't care if like I say something, I'm gonna do it, like, and then it turns out like, oh, it's not for me. Like I'm okay with, you know, just like giving up on it. Like it's not for me. Right? Like fuck, why spend time on something that isn't gonna help me in the future?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, for sure.
Like there was one time that Ken was experimenting with his designs, and he put wires in his shoes.
Oh,
right.
Like aux cable wires. Like, you know, like the yellow, red, white cables for TVs.
Yeah,
like those things. I put it through my pants for like my final project in like high school, and I got a good mark because I was trying to like, okay, I was bullshitting like my final project because I'm like, oh, I want to do these pants where it incorporates like high fashion luxury with like workwear. I just went to like, I thrifted these pants and I just put wires through to indicate, oh, this is the workwear, right? And then just put like some like leather and whatever. It was like really bad. It was really bad. But the way I explained it made it sound like, yo, this is like intricate. You know, this is the shit. You know, this is art. I'm like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Wait. So the pants play music?
No. So like I literally just poked. I literally think of like pants, and then I poke like holes like to create like a squiggly line. And then
so it's like fashion.
Yeah, and then like for the belt, it's literally just a bunch of wires to like tie up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's dope. Art is subjective. Don't criticize me.
Yeah, yo, facts though, man.
Yeah, and then he got posted because like someone on the TTC, like on the bus,
like TTC is like our transit system.
Yeah, so someone on the bus saw like his shoes, took a picture and posted on some like big Toronto page.
Yeah,
and called him broke.
Yeah.
But then a few months later, it was funny. But a few months later, I was looking at my Explore page and I see like this high end fashion page post, and it's like them putting wires through things. I was like, Ken did this trend a while ago.
I knew these trends, bro.
What they call broke is now fashion, so I don't care what they say.
Yeah, in the comments, people were like roasting me. But my coworker was trying to defend me. Like, dude, don't defend me. This is funny. Like, I am enjoying the hate and the love because people were fucking with it.
Yeah,
right. Like, oh, I actually like this idea, and people were like, yo, what the fuck is this? What kind of broke boy is this? I'm like, thank you. Like this, bro. It made me so happy knowing like I know people will never like my work, and some people will.
Yeah.
So it was like satisfying.
Yeah. Bro, you were born to be a trendsetter. Setter, not sender, and a sender too.
Yeah, I was, bro. I called like literally vests. I started wearing tactical vests in Toronto.
Yeah,
I see a bunch of other people do it. I wore like this chest rig, and my coworker roasted me for it. A year later, Jordan Brand makes one, and he wore it. I'm like, why were you dissing me, bro? Right? Like, don't talk to me. But yeah.
Damn, you gotta tell me what's the next big one that you come up with, and then I'll
We
start
gotta
rocking it out here.
we gotta gatekeep that real quick.
Yeah, we gotta
We gotta
gatekeep
gatekeep
it.
real quick.
Gatekeep it.
Mm.
It's low key.
Yeah, just give us a sec.
This is where we cut.
Oh, is
'cause-
that a
Yeah.
is that
How does a person find their passion in life?
a ooh.
Who wants to go first?
Unless you want to answer your own question.
Yeah, Dom, you wanna go?
I can try. I mean, like for me, my thing was like I just tried a bunch of shit, whichever thing clicked, whichever thing I was good at, and I like was waking up every morning to want to do like you know what I mean? Because I feel like when you're in high school, you kind of just wake up and you're like, oh, like I'm only getting up for school. But if once you find that thing
Yeah.
that you repeatedly want to do, that's like, oh, that's my passion. Like I want to wake up to do this thing. And when I had entered this film, I think I told you the story, Brandon, I've told it a bunch of times on this podcast where I did not even know I wanted to do film. Really, I just was like, I'm gonna take this class, just to get like an art credit, and then all of a sudden, like it was the first day of this class, they were introducing like stuff about movies, and I've always been a fan of like movies, but it wasn't until they mentioned like, oh, by the way, you get to make your short film at the end for this project, and then you could submit it to a film festival. And so then I was like, in my head, I don't know why, but the inner competitive Michael Jordan side in me was like, we're gonna make that. Like I just was like, I looked at my boys, I'm like, we're gonna make that. And then boom, once we start working on it, the more and more I was like, wow, I really like doing this. And I was like not into anything. Like I was trying to be a lawyer. Fuck that shit, dude. Like it was not there for me. But then like for some reason I just like would always think about more ideas for like stories and like how am I gonna execute this scene. Like there was just so many things I was like, I wouldn't be thinking about this for anything else but film. So I was like, oh shit, maybe I like doing this. And like now here we are. I go to film school and I actually make my own like thesis film, and I'm like, wow, like I made the right decision. You know, like that's how I feel like
Yeah.
really people get to know what they're passionate about is like when you wake up in the morning and that's the thing that you want. It's almost like when you fall in love with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like you wake up and you're like, I'm still in love with that person. You know?
There it is, bringing it back to love. It's all about love at the
course,
end of the
man.
day. Hey man, it's all about love at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. So how do you think, Brandon, how do you think someone figures out what they're passionate about?
I feel like both of you guys already like pretty much talked about it. You guys were saying how you just try a bunch of different shit, and like you got to have the courage to try a bunch of
Right.
different stuff.
Right.
And I noticed recently, because now I've kind of been chasing this industry for like about 4 years now, right? So it's been some time where, like, okay, bringing it back to love. There's always a
Yeah.
honeymoon phase,
Right.
so it's like now I'm kind of past that, and I'm like, I've seen like the dark side of the industry, and sometimes passion can only take you so far. So I've noticed the biggest thing for me is like also tying your passion with fulfilling you as a person. So like an example is like for me, I worked stunts a lot professionally before I'd started to do more. Well, I originally wanted to do acting, but then I got opportunities for stunts, and then after the most recent movie I worked on, it took me out for like 6 months, so I couldn't audition for like 6 months. So after that movie, I was like, done with stunts. I'm going all in on acting, and like the past like 8-9 months have been doing that, right? But I noticed like I wasn't as passionate about life in general for some reason, and I was wondering like what was missing. I was like, what? No, I thought I wanted to act. Is it maybe that I like stunts more? Then I realized I was like, oh, I'm not making videos anymore. The only thing I'm doing is like auditioning and taking classes and doing self tapes.
Right.
And so it's like I'm not creating anything. And I wasn't actively putting something out in the world that I felt like was making it a better place.
Like you didn't have an
You know what I mean?
outlet.
Yeah. Because for me, at the end of the day, like I taught Taekwondo. Anything that I put out, I hope to make people laugh. I try to put good into the world, And I was working on my craft, and realizing, shit, I'm just like in my own room, like with my setup and a camera, and that's all I'm doing. And I'm getting better, but like for some reason, I'm not as passionate, So like I realized there was deeper levels of finding your passion too, if that makes any sense. But I think it all starts from like what you guys were saying is like what Ken did, you know, it's like just try a bunch of shit and don't let society's norm tell you like, no, you gotta do this 9 to 5 job, you gotta grind, like, you know, gotta pay off your debt, your student debt. Like, no, you gotta have the balls to be like, no, I don't care about what any of you guys think, even family, even the closest friends. You gotta say, what does my heart want? And keep being able to throw away if you don't like it. You can start all over again. You know, I think it all starts from that. But then there's like deeper levels that I've been noticing. I don't know if you have you guys run into any of that, like noticing there's
That's actually, I want to know that from Ken's side, because like I thought there was a time where I thought you didn't want to do the clothing thing anymore because you wanted to go all in on business. And then all of a sudden it came back about. I was like, oh, so you do like the design.
No, okay, yeah, okay. The darker side, I can kind of understand it to the point where it's like it gets draining, right? Where you're constantly trying to create, but then you start like, am I just creating because I love it, or am I creating just because it's work? Right?
Yeah.
Does that make that? Yeah. So like it got to the
that
point.
makes so much sense, bro.
Yeah, so like it got to the point where like I like clothing things, like especially when you're creative, like you have a lot of creative blocks.
Yeah.
So that kind of like pushes you away to like, is this really my passion? Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to go all in on business because I started researching more into it. I'm like, okay, listen, I just need money. Right? I was broke, so I was like driven by money and not by passion at that time.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, didn't really work out as much. So I'm like, fuck it, let me go back into clothing, right? So then eventually, like, I found that was more of my passion because I'm like, I am like enjoying this, right? Because every time I was like, not even making clothes, just like maybe like drawing or sketching or just thinking, it's like I'm in a flow state.
Yeah,
right.
Flow state.
So when I was in that flow state, like I didn't care about time, I didn't care about anything. I'm like, I'm just creating, and that's what I've always wanted to do my whole life, just to create anything.
Yeah.
Right. So it got me happier. I'm like, dude, I'm just like making stuff. Like even now, like I'm making a bunch of bags, right? And I'm just literally just cutting the patterns. And to people that might seem boring, but I'm like, I'm literally just enjoying that. I'm like, why? Because I'm in my flow state. I'm enjoying my passion.
Yeah.
Because I'm envisioning like what I'm creating already. It's like it's there, but it's not there yet. Right. So like eventually, like I reignited my passion for clothing. I'm like, yeah, this is my shit. Right. Because it makes me happy. And that's all I think about, because every time I'm in it, it's like I'm in a whole new dimension.
Yeah.
Like no one talk to me. I put my phone on doing D&D and like, fuck everyone. Let me just fucking do this shit, man. And like it's not draining anymore. Like I'll be up till like 2 a.m. just like making stuff. It's like I'm enjoying this. And like for the thing we're trying to do, like our little like other thing. Yeah. It's like I'm all like trying to like get, not even like creating, but just like doing like all like the plans and everything, like marketing wise, because I'm very passionate about marketing as well. And like I'm trying to integrate a bunch of stuff, and it's just like, wow, I'm implementing the stuff I learned, and this is great because I really want this to make it work.
It's like when the little mundane things are fun.
Yeah.
Like I think for us it would be like because we break down scripts, right? That side of it, like I remember doing that for an advanced directing class, and I remember like trying to break down, okay, this is what shot is going to be on this side of the, where we see this part. And I just remember thinking like, this is like the most boring part. But when I did it for my own film, I was like, oh wow, okay, that's beautiful. I like that. That's a creative choice I want to make. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's your own thing, it has like a different side of things versus when it feels like homework.
Like it just starts making sense.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
I get that. Wow.
Dude, kind of like piggybacking off what Ken was saying about like the flow state. Like I feel like it's okay, bringing it back to love, man. Just like with love, like you know how people always say like when you know someone's right for you, you don't have to, you don't need anyone else's approval. You don't need anyone to tell you, oh, you guys look like a good match. I feel like it's the same thing with passions. It's not something you question about maybe later down the line, right? But like for me, I don't know about you guys, I'm a caffeine addict. Like I need coffee, right? But like recently, because I've just been like super super passionate about my craft, like I noticed caffeine is like coffee is too much now. I have to drink like Korean tea, dude. It's like crazy. So it made me think like, dude, this shit called passion is stronger than any fucking energy drink will give you. It's stronger than any other like jolt of energy you'll get. It's like, I feel like that's when you'll know. You're like, okay, yeah. It's like what you said. You're up till 2 a.m. You don't want anyone to talk to you. You're just grinding your shit. Like that's when you know it's like, okay, yeah, this is
the
it.
one.
This is the
This is
one.
the one. Bringing it back to love, baby.
Yes. You have to.
Stupid.
So it kind of sounds like, we all kind of like found our passions and everything, right? But I'm curious, like, what was the biggest struggle or one of the obstacles you guys had to go through to kind of like find your passion or at least try to make the leap to do it?
I got one that we can all relate to. Easy.
What?
Asian parents.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the easiest. That's the clip.
That's the easiest
the
one.
clip.
Asian parents, man, like
That's a good.
they're the dream killers. They really are, but only because they had a dream for us. You know what I'm saying? Like they just wish for a stable life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like they don't wish for like when they leave or like when it's time for us to take care of ourselves, like we're not struggling like the way they struggled when they had to create their life here. Like that's the only reference point for my dad to make. He was just like, "Oh, you don't want to like work in a factory like I did for how many years and basically feel like a slave all your life to just, bring food on the table and provide for so and so." Like that's the only thing I can think of is like a real struggle. I guess it's just like, oh, I want to be able to get my parents' trust that I'm gonna make this work for me because it's what I love to do, and it's not about the money necessarily, but it's about like my overall happiness.
Yeah.
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 I feel you, man.
What
Damn.
about you, Brandon? What was like the biggest
like-
struggle to find your passion?
The biggest struggle. For me, honestly, like I feel like my parents actually kind of went against the like stereotypical Asian parents.
Right.
In
I
the
mean,
sense of,
yeah,
like-
because your dad was the one that sent
Oh,
in,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's because they grew up like that, and that's why they moved to the US. And like they were way more ambitious. And more, I guess, more of a liberal mindset. I don't know if that's the right word, but like, you know what I mean? Like they have more ambitions, and they weren't always about,
They were more
A
supportive.
to B. Yeah. So they were way more supportive about that. But I feel like my biggest struggle in finding my passion, or like just biggest struggle during my passion.
Maybe
guess
both.
Both, yeah.
Both.
You
Which
can
one do you guys
you
wanna
can
hear?
start with finding, I guess.
Finding. Well, for me, it was like my plan was, like I said, I grew up doing taekwondo my whole life, and I loved it. And the plan was for me to eventually take over my dad's taekwondo school. But the thing with that was like every time I like feel like anytime I was accomplished something, won a state title, this or that, everyone would immediately discredit me, saying, "Oh, it's because you're the master's son. That's why you're so good. You get free like." So it's like it's kind of like that Kobe Bryant stuff, where it's like his dad was a basketball player. Like I always felt like I had to prove myself in my own way, and I loved teaching. But I grew up teaching since I was like 12, 13 years old. I knew exactly what my lifestyle was going to be like, even though that was like a very ambitious and very happy lifestyle. Like I wanted to prove myself. What do I actually like to do? You know what I mean? So it was like, for me, it was like having the courage to stray away from like something I'm already passionate about, and how can I apply this to something else that I like even more.
That reminds me of like Creed. Have you ever seen Creed?
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Where it's just
Dude,
like you're
okay.
trying to create your own legacy, essentially.
Yeah.
I get that.
Bro, after this pod, remind me to tell you something about that. I can't
Okay.
okay. And now the audience is gonna be like, "Whoa, what is that?"
Right. Ken, what about you? Because like you don't essentially care. So it's like what? Because we have this running joke in our in our friendship, and just like I think the viewers know this too. It's like Ken doesn't have like a mental health. Like he doesn't overthink things like the way most people do.
I just
Ken don't give a fuck.
I really don't. I really don't. Like I'm more of I'm like I'd say I'm more laid back, but I'm just like fuck it, why overthink? Just do it and just okay. My whole thing is do it and then just kind of like what's the word adapt to it.
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like goes bad. Okay, yo, just think of a new situation. You know, how can you get out of this? Think of more on the positive
Yeah.
side, right? But yeah, one of the
Yeah.
struggles like I faced just trying to like find my passion would be just really going through with it. Right, just like okay, the whole
Yeah.
like me
Following
going
through.
into like becoming a Nike shoe designer. Like I even contacted like people who would design for Nike, asking like, oh, how do I become one? What should I do? What programs do I use? Everything, right? So I found out a bunch of
Mhm.
stuff. They helped me, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell my this is what Dom likes to call my shut up story.
Right.
It's against my mom. And it was scary for
Yeah.
me. So basically, this is like grade 12, right? I'm like applying for everything.
Senior year.
Yeah, senior year. And then I tell my mom, I want to be a Nike shoe designer, so I am applying for industrial design at OCAD University, right? So then my mom's like, why don't you become a pilot? Right? You know, I'm like, why do you think I'd be good with this pilots? Because you like to travel a lot. I'm like, true, but that's not my dream. She's like, no, just apply and then you know get the job and then go back to your dream. So then at that point, I was like stunned. I'm like, nope, this is where I got like triggered, right? I told my
Mhm.
mom, no, this is my dream, this is my passion, this is my work, this is what I want to do, right? I wholeheartedly believe that I can do it, right? I mean,
Mhm.
as we can see now that I didn't go through with it, but
he dropped out.
but it was the fact that I was able to stand up like for my own dreams.
Yeah, you stood your ground.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was
Yeah.
still scared.
Yeah, for
Like in the
sure.
midst of saying that, I was scared. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm actually going through with this shit. Right? So
Yeah.
I went through with it. You know,
There's no turning back.
there's no turning back. Like if I do, like, oh, you know. And then yeah, eventually like, I did go through with it, and it kind of like, relieved this distress. Meaning like I'm my own person. You know, there's no one who can really hold me back. Not even like my mom. Right? So then at that point,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm really gonna start pursuing my passion, like full on. Like yeah, I dropped out, but in the back of my head, I'm like, although I said I want to be a Nike shoe designer, doesn't mean I can't get a collaboration and still design my own shoe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
you never know where it'll
Yeah.
come back full circle, man.
Yeah, no, I would not mind
Yeah.
going back to that like passion of mine. Just gotta like get my other
Yeah.
stuff, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
at that point, it's like that was a struggle. I'm like just really believing in what you want to do, because it's just always a
Yeah.
scary thought like starting off, and then when you go through it, you go through a rush like I'm really gonna do this, and then you start going through like the depth to like oh my god, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then it just kind of
Yeah.
like eases in. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a fucking struggle, man.
Seems to be like a sense of doubt. Whenever
yeah,
it comes
yeah,
to
self
like,
doubt.
there's a lot of self doubt, but you made a really great point where it's just like we're capable of adapting. Like that's what humans have been doing since the dawn of time, is that we adapt to
Yeah.
our certain situations. So I guess it's like essentially for any viewers that are scared, it's just, well, you'll figure it out somehow. Like
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
all the student
Yeah.
debt and all that stuff is gonna be there, but it's like, you know, this is, you kind of only have one shot at life, and I don't think anyone would wanna,
Yeah.
you know, do like waste it doing something they're not passionate in.
Mhm.
At least that's what I'm getting from this conversation.
Yeah. And it's like at the end of the day, if you're gonna wake up the next day, like the fact that you can wake up the next day, you have a roof over your head, you can sleep in a bed, you have water, you have food, you're not gonna fucking die if like
Right.
you get embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but everyone acts like it's the worst thing in the world if you get embarrassed. So
Yeah.
that's why I respect that a lot. That like, even though you guys were geeking about how like you dropped out, Ken, but that's more courage that you could be like, okay, maybe this wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Let's find the next thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's a difference between that and having the courage to do that versus people that they take like one little baby step and they're like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Right.
they
You
go
know what I
back.
mean? Like you gotta check it out, feel it. Okay, maybe now I don't like this.
Right.
You know,
Or
but
even
a lot
just,
of people,
like,
they're
people
like,
Sorry, I was gonna say like even
No.
there's like a lot of people that just they keep going, and then they realize it like after they fucking stuck through with it, they're like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
and that's okay. That's okay. You know,
Right.
like then you can just start over. But then it's like there's people that like they take the tiniest step and they're like, oh, I already did it all. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever.
No,
No,
it does. It does. It does.
It's like a metaphor would be like, say like pursuing the passion is jumping in the fucking pool,
Yeah.
right? And then someone dips their
The
their
toes.
pinky toe in it and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I did it. It's like, no, you didn't.
Right.
You
Right.
just touched the surface. Like literally, that's it.
Yeah, that is literally.
You
it.
still don't know what's inside of the pool to figure out whether
Yeah.
you like it or not. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Now that we've established that we all have passions,
Again.
Were there any doubts and moments of uncertainty, and how did you guys like tackle it?
You want to go first, Ken or Dom?
I mean, fuck it. I'll go.
Yes, sir.
Doubts or uncertain. Okay. I guess after like, okay, dropping out and then going back into like fashion or like clothing, I was very uncertain because like, okay, when you create something like physically, you're like, oh, I don't know if people are gonna like this, right? Like, yeah, I can say like, oh yeah, fuck everyone else, it's whatever. Like, I don't really give a fuck. But it's like when you create stuff, you're more intricate with how you want it to be like perceived, right?
Right.
So when I created like a couple bags or whatever and pants, like I don't know if people were gonna like it. I don't know if they were gonna buy it. I'm like, did I just like waste like some of my time only for like this to be the result? So I said, all right, fuck it. You know what? Stop thinking. Just do it. So I made like a bunch of custom pants and whatever. And eventually, people actually bought it. I'm like, oh fuck, people want the shit I make, right? So it started making me more happy, right? And it overcame that doubt that like I'm not good enough. Like people won't buy my stuff. People won't like it. When in reality, it's like, oh, people will like what you make sometimes, right? And it was like the more comforting thought. I was like, wow, knowing someone wants what you make or enjoys like what you create, like through the podcast, right? We have like fans that tell us like, oh, we love the podcast. It's helped us a lot. Even when people come up to us, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
right? We're actually like, people like who we are.
Like we're doing the thing that we set out to do.
Yeah, like we're authentic,
Right.
right? And so it really helped me overcome my doubt. So now I'm like just creating and creating, and now I'm getting like more orders. I'm like, wow, this makes me happy. I guess in a sense to really overcome like that doubt or uncertainty, just like getting, okay, I guess it might be bad, but it's like kind of getting like validation from others, right? You want to like get it voiced, like that kind of like
validation that you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Reassurance.
Yes.
In a way.
But I guess through your own self to really validate that, I guess just going with the fact that as long as you like it, that's fine. Because I did like the pants and everything I created, right? I'm like, it's good in my eyes. But then I overthought like, how would they perceive it? But if you like it, that's great. And if you see the things you need to improve on, then do it to make it even better. And yeah.
Have you guys seen this TikTok where it's just like, oh, I'm really worried about this, and then it would play a song, and then it would like zoom out and it would go into the world and the atmosphere. Have you ever seen that TikTok or no?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, it would just like go, like it would zoom out. Okay, you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, right?
Oh, dude, yes.
Yes.
I have some homies that worked on that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, there's a part where they're rocks, right? And they're just
yeah.
they're
I
just
love
like,
that part,
we're just all stupid. Like we're all pieces of like matter. Like it's nothing matters essentially.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I guess what I have to like think for myself. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm caring so much about this. Is like, well, you're gonna die soon. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna die. This is not gonna matter a year's time.
Yeah.
Like any of what you do now, like whether you get canceled or whatever, like life's gonna end, and then what was relevant at the time is gonna end as well. Like it's not gonna stay. So it's like, yeah, we're just a little piece of matter on this world that has a billion things happening. It's not gonna matter at the end of the day. Like tomorrow will be a fresh day for everybody, and they can decide what they want to be tomorrow. It doesn't stick with you your whole life, essentially. That's my thing. You should care about the people that care about you, but I also like don't care about what anyone has to say because it doesn't matter. Like it does matter.
Yourself.
It matters to it mostly you care about it more, but essentially no one gives a fuck. Like no one cares. Yeah. That's my thing.
Yeah. I feel that. Like you yourself at the end of the day have to care or validate yourself first before anyone else. If you're pulling from anywhere else, you're never going to be happy, I feel like.
Yeah,
No,
if you're trying to be a people pleaser, it's just it's almost like, working for money. Like there's an infinite number of like dollars that you can make. But like when it really comes from within, it's like it's different. It's a different game,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, I feel like the question of like, do you ever feel doubts, or like when was the most, what was it again? Like
Any moments of uncertainty.
I feel like we deal with that every day. I don't know about you guys, but for me, every fucking day, right? But and then sometimes we feel it even more, but it's just canceling that out with positivity and like staying focused, But like for me, like there's a lot of moments. Most recently was I told you guys before we were rolling
Right,
on this.
right.
Like, um, if the viewers don't know, like I've worked in stunts professionally for I've been very blessed to work very quickly in my career in stunts. And then after the second movie I worked on for about 6 months, I was like, okay, I want to go back to acting. That's what I wanted to do first and foremost. And I just need to go all in on this. I can't try to do two things at once. And so I've been doing that. I've been grinding that for like the past 8, 9 months. And I finally booked my first like acting role in like pretty big movie that I can't say, but like it's for a pretty big production. And I was super hyped about it. And then I got there and then I got COVID. And so I couldn't shoot. And
Unfortunately.
man, I was like, every terrible thought when you're locked up in quarantine for like 2 weeks
Right.
can go through your mind, you know?
I did
Like-
not think about that. That's
yeah,
true.
dude, I'm sitting there like, you know, every terrible thought's going through. And this was the worst part. This was the cherry on top, right? I didn't tell you guys this part yet. About 9 months ago, when I first came back from Budapest, the most recent stunt job I worked on, I auditioned for this show that I'm not going to say what it was, but it is out now. And it was I'll tell you guys after the pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a very big show and I was really hyped about it. And I was gonna play as one of the main roles in it. I literally
Ooh.
signed a contract for this movie and I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, this would literally change my life. Like completely life changing, you know? Got so close to booking it, didn't end up booking it. And it came out the same time I was depressed in my hotel room.
Fuck.
I open up the streaming service and it pops up right there, the trailer. I'm like, are you kidding me? So it's like,
That's
you
gotta
know,
hurt.
I was very fortunate to like work in stunts and I'm like all those thoughts came back to like, man, maybe I'm not set out to do this. Maybe I should go back to stunts.
Right.
Maybe this isn't for me. Like all those thoughts. But then after I got all the negative feelings out, I was like, okay, I'm done being a baby. What am I going to learn from this? How am I going to learn from this? Because I always think about, everything happens for a reason at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, why did this happen to me? Now I'm really fucking fired up.
Right.
Maybe if I had shot this movie, maybe I would have come back. Maybe I would have gotten my comfort zone and maybe I wouldn't have like really done anything, But now I came back and I really feel like now I really found out like who I really am deep down. What are my passions? And like one of them, like I was telling you guys before, was like creating.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm an artist, but I need to create too. And so that's why like I started you guys influenced me, like I wanted to start a podcast because there was like stuff that I always said I was gonna do this. I want to do a podcast, I want to stream too. I want to do so many things. And I would limit myself sometimes because I'm so goal oriented that sometimes I'd be like, well, if this doesn't have to do exactly with acting, then I'm not going to do it. But then I realized as an actor, you have to experience life.
Right.
You can learn.
Right.
And I don't even think this is just acting. Like you can apply anything in life to what your passion is, So I feel like if you're so tunnel visioned on your stuff, you're blinding yourself from the world that can teach you all these different lessons. You know what I mean? So I feel like for me, that was like the biggest, like most recently, like the doubts all came in, but I think I could have either went one way and been like, oh, screw acting, I'm done with this, I'm done, but then, or I can use this as a moment to like use it as motivation, but those are the hardest times.
That's true.
To like use that as motivation, because no matter how positive minded you are, when you're locked up in a room for 2 weeks and you have nothing but your thoughts, you're just like, you can't even go outside and get some vitamin D. Like you have to like,
oh man,
Oh, that's scary.
yeah.
But
oh my god, sorry, I'm like, yeah, we can cut here, but oh my god, sorry, I'm having my thoughts now because I told you, right? Like I told you about. Sorry, let me cut real quick,
bro. I feel like Ken, you and I got to talk about the single
Dude,
life.
I'm actually so down. I'm so down, bro.
Whoa, I'm single now too.
Yeah, but
Dude, just like
you
like-
haven't
like-
experienced what we've experienced.
Okay.
like bro, all of high school and all of college, just like
I felt
be the sad boy.
He,
Right,
he doesn't
okay.
even he doesn't even need to explain.
Okay.
I understand that.
We're feel the mutual pain.
Yeah, I know what he's saying, bro. It's like it's flooding my head. I'm like, yep, I know it. We don't
Right
even have to say
now.
anymore.
Dude, I watched so much How I Met Your Mother, just like
Oh, you'll think I was like, we're literally the reason why we're called the booth is because of the actual booth.
Oh, what?
And you know, like the colors, it's yellow, red, blue, and everything because it's literally
Bro.
that.
Yeah,
From
dude.
How I Met Your Mother, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
We have Ted right here, bro.
Ted Mosby used to be me, man.
Right here, bro. We got him with the blue trumpet or blue French horn.
Oh
sorry.
my god, with the blue trumpet too.
Yeah. Then we have
Yeah.
Barney.
With
right
Barney
up
right
here.
here. Yeah.
Barney's
I
the
wish
goat.
I wish they had more. I wish they had like all of them.
Yeah, they just have Ted and Barney.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
That's
Damn.
so funny. I didn't even know. I don't know if we talked about How I Met Your Mother being. That's so funny.
Dude,
Yeah.
I watched that all the time in like high school when I was really sad.
This this
Felt
makes
that, felt
sense.
that. Bro, this is like my 11th time watching How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, you're
Like,
on your 11th.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
finished it.
Every time after I get out of a talking phase and declined, I'd watch that show.
I
I
watched.
do that. I do that.
You know which part I watched specifically? I watched when Stella left him. That's where I watched.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No,
That's where I started watching.
Okay, wait. I'm curious. Okay, because on the topic of How I Met Your Mother, but
Yeah,
every time you guys go back to like, you know how you take a random break, right, out of nowhere, and then when you come back, I don't know if it happens to you guys, but whenever I come back to watching How I Met Your Mother, for some reason the season I'm watching just relates to me in my current life.
Yeah, yeah.
it, like
God.
Yeah.
somehow the topic has to deal with your life in that moment. You're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Right.
This show is psychic.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That's me. Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
What season are you on?
No, I finished.
Okay.
I've yet to come back.
Me too.
I've yet to come back. When I want to find the one, I watch the last season when he actually meets the mother. So I'm like, please.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
I think for me right now, I'm on the part where Ted's best friend gets married in Cleveland, right? And then you know that one scene where it's like Ted and Robin in like the balcony, and then Ted's like,
Yeah.
every time like I believe a little less, and then Robin's like, all you need is chemistry. You have chemistry. The only thing you need now is time.
Timing is a
Time,
bitch.
yeah, timing is a bitch. I'm like, damn man,
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
about to go home and rewatch.
Honestly,
it.
leave this.
bonded.
Leave this.
We just bonded on a whole new level.
You as soon as whenever we hear someone say "How I Met Your Mother," like, "Yup, yeah, we're more engaged in the conversation."
We're there.
Yeah,
We're
we're there.
Boom.
Like which like you can say one line. Oh yeah, season 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
Season 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was literally watching like 2 days ago. I wrapped it up 2
Oh
days ago.
shit. Damn.
We're at this tidbit of How I Met Your Mother just at the end. Anyways, I'll get to the question.
Wait, have we been rolling this whole time?
Yeah.
I bet, dude.
Perfect. We're leaving it.
I'm fine, bro. This can relate to like the How I Met Your Mother fans too.
Yeah.
It's golden.
Uh-huh.
All right. 3, 2.
Now going back into the
Yes.
topic, dog.
Is the idea of "it's my dream" enough to leave a comfortable or stable lifestyle?
Like risking it all.
Yeah, is risk, is the idea of like, oh, that's my dream though. Is it enough to like leave whatever was comfortable or stable?
You want to go first?
That's more directed to you because you left
Oh,
hometown,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
You left hometown.
I think everyone's different
Mhm.
for sure. But at least for me personally, I always use this scenario of like, I forgot where I heard it from, but I always think of, okay, if I'm on my deathbed and I'm looking back at my life and I didn't do what I'm debating about doing, would I regret it? Most of the time, it's yes. And so I'd end up doing it. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to think.
And like, life goes by so damn fast. Like,
Right.
and you never know when the tomorrow's never guaranteed.
Right.
So why not live a life that, yeah, maybe you're getting embarrassed, maybe you're failing, but you're happy because you're doing something that you're passionate about versus you're doing something that you hate, but you're a millionaire. I would take the lifestyle of like being happy and doing what I'm passionate about over that any day.
Right.
As long as I have a roof over my head, I have a bed, and I have food and water,
Mhm.
Like, what else can you ask for in life? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I personally think it's worth it, and I think a lot of people let society's norm like get the best of them,
Yeah.
and they end up procrastinating their passions. And I've heard from so many people like that have been 1 foot in, 1 foot out about sending it in the industry, you know? Like a
Mhm.
lot of people that were stunt performers that wanted to act, but they never made the full jump. Like
Mhm.
even within the industry, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And they tell me all about like how they didn't regret going all the way in a
Mhm.
lot of times, you know? Um, so it's like I don't want to be one of those guys, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Not that there's not that I'm trying to disrespect them, but I don't want to regret that I didn't try at
Right.
least.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
If you tried, didn't work out, at least you had fun doing it because you're actually passionate about it and
True.
you know,
Mhm.
right?
At least you scratch that itch, like people
Yeah.
say, right? Like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
my thing is I think of my parents when they came here for a better life, right? When they came here for a better life, they came here essentially living in this like really small bedroom. Like they rented out this small bedroom, and they only had like a mattress on the ground and
Mhm.
a cup, one cup to share with each other, or two cups to share,
Damn.
Mhm.
two cups which was for water and one for coffee, and then one of them broke, so they had to share the one cup.
Yeah.
You know,
Damn.
that's when like they had me. So we were like, my mom wasn't working because labor or whatever,
Yeah. Labor laws.
labor laws. You can't work, right, since you have a kid. So it's like they struggled, just them two.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
with me as a baby. So I think of
Mm-hmm.
like what could happen if like I get older and it's like I have to start like feeding off my what's called like desperation.
Yeah.
I have to keep putting my mindset in like, oh, I'm desperate to like make this work. Because if
Mhm.
you keep
Mm-hmm.
thinking of like, but this couch is so comfy,
Mhm.
but like I want to watch Netflix and I want
Yeah.
to, you want to do all these like fun but like comfortable things. Like I don't like that. I like thinking of grinding as if I could be poor tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know, for some reason that like when you watch like Rocky and you watch all these like Pursuit of Happiness type movies, it's like I want to have that mindset, and I think it's more important to have that mindset, like a
Mhm.
hunger mindset when it comes to like pursuing your dreams. Otherwise, yeah, you could kiss your dreams goodbye. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it's so
Mhm.
easy
Yeah.
to give into satisfaction,
Yeah.
What about you?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. What time was the thing? Was it at 1?
Right. I think we're
Okay. We're gonna cut here real quick.
right.
Hey.
I forgot.
Wait.
What was the
Right.
question again?
Is the idea of it's my dream enough to leave a comfortable and stable lifestyle?
Fuck yeah. So I was like,
Right,
yeah,
right,
like,
right.
fuck yeah.
Right.
Okay. The reason.
Forgot who I was talking
Yeah.
to. My bad.
Yeah. Because the reason. Because I mean, I don't like living with regrets. So I literally just like full send shit. It's like try it out. And like growing up without like a dad, right? And like my mom, single mother, 3 kids. I really want to make it and just like risk it all to like just really like help my family and everything, right? So I'm like, I can't have a linear path. I know I can't have a linear path because that's not the best way. It's not the best way to grow. So that's why I have multiple things that I want to try and see what works best, right? And what else? What was the question again?
Is the idea of it's my dream
Oh
enough
yes, yeah.
to-
Sorry, I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
I ran off. But yeah, I say yes because I mean, you learn a lot of new shit and you try it, and then you experience a lot.
Right.
Right,
The
yeah.
experience that changes everything.
Yeah, and then
right.
I think we were talking about this in one podcast like way back, like older episodes. Like
Oh,
was it like being broke, like life's toughest teachers or something like that?
Right, yeah.
Lessons like what being broke,
being broke,
heartbreak, all that. Like
Yeah.
kind of going through all that really teaches you a lot to like just like full on like I don't want to be this again,
Mhm.
right? And if it's your dream, why not go big,
Right.
right? Why succumb to like
Mhm.
other people's opinions and thoughts of you when you can just do it? You know, like
Mhm.
I like dreaming big. Like literally when we set goals and everything for like the month, like Dom will be like, oh, okay, we'll try to
Yeah,
aim for
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I'll be like,
yeah.
nah, we'll aim for like 5K subscribers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like we'll do our
Yeah.
best. And literally it's good to go all in. And I think you're talking about like having fun.
This is what you say where it's like we shoot for the moon because even if I miss, I'll land among the
Yeah,
stars.
yeah. That's kind of like
Yeah.
the thing I aim for.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole like having fun part, like risking it all. Risking it all means like, setting the fun stuff aside and to have that mindset. Like me and Dom.
Oh right. Oh
yeah,
God,
we-
you're gonna
okay.
bring this up.
We were supposed to go to Vancouver and Banff like in like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So like
Mm-hmm.
right now for people it's like August 8th, right? And we were supposed to go to Vancouver, but we have other things in mind.
Other
where it's, like,
projects that we
other
can't announce
projects,
just
yeah.
yet.
and it's like we have to
Hey.
sacrifice, having fun for like a week
Yeah.
to really like make this work. And it's just really setting your priorities straight to keep your mind straight. Like you really want to go big for your dreams, you have to make those sacrifices in order to grow and actually achieve
Yeah.
them, right?
Yeah.
Like it's tough because like me and him we were on the train talking about it. Like we don't want to do it. But we have to.
I was literally like, I don't want to say it. And then he's like, I know what you're gonna say.
Like I just
and I
I'm
don't
like,
want you to
yeah.
say it too.
And
Yeah.
it sucks. Like I see people having fun all the time, right? And like, yeah, it's great. I'm like, I wish I could do that too. But like I know I
Yeah.
need to like, if it's my dreams, I have to go all in. Right? Like I have
Yeah.
my friend like always hitting me up like, hey, let's go to the club and everything, like almost every week. And I always tell him like priorities.
Right.
Priority. I tell myself that I reassure him priorities can like
Yeah.
you gotta do
Yeah.
what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally like for sometimes I'll edit the podcast pretty late and like I'll sacrifice my sleep to finish the podcast to get it out. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
it's like you gotta sacrifice like a lot of things to make
Yeah.
it work. Like we're still kind of starting off small, but it's like those to me it's like a big sacrifice because it's gonna like project us to like a whole new level,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, kind of like both those things that you were saying of like sacrificing, but then sacrificing fun and opportunities and stuff like that. I noticed for me, I've had to balance both of those out recently
Mm-hmm.
because like there's a lot of times, like I said, like I'm going on acting now, and there's times where I'll get a job offer for stunts and I'm like, oh my God, the money would be so good right now. Like, and then it's tough to say no to opportunities like that, right? But then also on the flip side, I find myself now when I'm grinding by myself 24/7 and like I'm not getting as many results in acting, and it's like that's when you got to remind yourself to not get a toxic relationship about the craft that you love, right? Because when you're sacrificing too much and you're too go and you're not actually enjoying it anymore, now what was the whole purpose of pursuing it? And that's a lot that I've had to balance with lately, because like when you're not seeing results, those are the times that are hard. But then you have to really question yourself, okay, well, why am I in this in the first place? Right? I wasn't here for the results. I'm here because I loved it. Right. So for me, it was like, okay, well, nothing is stopping me from shooting my own little short films now. Like you can shoot it on an iPhone. Anyone can. You don't need no fancy camera. You can and you can edit it all on your phone. Like we're so blessed nowadays for all these opportunities. And this isn't just like film. Like you can do this with almost anything. You want to learn any skill, you learn it all online. You just go do it. Right.
Facts.
But I feel like it's like a balance too, where you can't like, I used to be like all about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. I still am, but I had to be real with myself. I'm like, dude, I'm not like them, where I'm like, yes, I'm grind 24/7, but I gotta like, I'm more happy and I like to just have fun with just life. Right? Like, what are the things that I just enjoy doing? The little things. If you're so goal oriented, like sometimes it's easy to get a toxic relationship with your passion.
Oh, dude, I know that feeling.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like, you kind of mentioned it when we were talking about love, where it's like you gotta be able to live your own life and not just put your whole self into a relationship. Otherwise, it just gets like draining, even for your partner or even for the thing you're passionate in. It starts feeling like a task that you have to do. Yeah.
I feel like everything is like a balance at the end of the day,
Because if you're not happy, you're not gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I remember
sure.
when I was like, it literally happened like a couple of days ago, right? Where I was like constantly just like cutting out and drafting out the patterns for the bags I'm making. I was like, okay, I was like working so much. I'm like, okay, yo, you gotta relax. I'm like, back in my head's like saying like, nah, just do it, just go. I'm like, nah, I gotta relax. I gotta live my life a little. So usually, I'll just like go biking in the afternoon, like for like an hour, right, and just like relieve my mind and just make sure to do something fun, right? It's like I gotta,
bro.
like go outside. I gotta touch some grass.
Touch grass, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like I work downtown like Toronto, so like I literally have
Yeah.
fun just like at my work with my coworkers. I'm just living my life,
Yeah.
right? Because I like to live by this thing called memento mori. It's like I think it's Latin, but basically it translates to like you're gonna die.
Right.
That's literally what it means,
Mm.
right? And the way people
Mhm.
perceive it is like, oh, dude, this is like very, really negative, right? For me, it's like,
Mhm.
nah, man, I'm gonna die, so might as well just like live my life now,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
I like same thing
Yeah.
as you. I find joy in like the little things, right? Like literally, I'll be on the train just like bobbing my head to music. You know, I'll be saying hi to complimenting random people, right? And just
Yeah.
I look at trees and the sky, I just gaze at it like, yo, that I love cloud
Dude.
watching, bro. I'm like that cloud
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Learning how to be grateful for the little things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I feel like it's a very masculine thing to be like, no, man, it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
put my foot down. I gotta keep and dude,
Yeah.
for real, like I'm guilty of thinking this a lot.
Mhm.
You know, like there's a time and place for that always. Like, you know, you don't want to go to the gym, but you know you skipped 2 days in a row and you gotta go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the time and place for that, right?
Mhm.
But like I said, I feel like it's a balance at the end of the day. And like
yeah.
I feel like it's such a masculine thing, and dudes don't like to be like vulnerable, blah blah blah, stuff
Yeah.
like this. They're just like, no, bro, I grind 24/7. Like, shut the fuck up. 24/7. Like, who do you think you are, man? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's very easy when you get stuck too much in that mindset to not be able to enjoy those little things, like you were saying, Ken. Like just jam into some music, like just
Mhm.
do the smallest things that just bring you, you know, happiness, and
Yeah.
then you're in a better mindset to actually be more productive in your
Mhm.
craft.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Taking a step back. Yeah.
Exactly.
When pursuing your passion, should there be a backup plan? Am I saying it weird? Sorry.
No, we're just we
No, it's because sometimes like I have the question
no
formulated
no
and
like,
then
like,
it breaks.
I feel like we're already saying the
Hey.
answer in our head.
Oh, right.
Let's all say the answer on three. 1, 2, 3.
No.
Fuck no.
Fuck no. I was about to say hell no.
Oh, fuck no. Like why have a backup plan? That just means you don't believe in your first plan.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Plan B stands for lack of belief, bruh. Oh shoot. What are you thinking of? You thought of,
Oh,
you thought of the wrong plan B, dog.
you thinking about the
No, anyway,
you
anyways.
you thinking about that, huh? Damn.
This guy's thinking about the wrong plan B, dude.
Hey, yeah, you said plan B.
Right. That's,
Okay, we'll get
That's
outside.
the question even
Alright,
was
alright.
backup plan, not plan B. We just yeah.
Sorry, Toronto.
Shit.
Toronto just changed me.
Yeah, he knows too many people, bro.
Anyway, yeah, like don't. Sorry, go on. You're saying?
Oh, I was gonna say like, my dad always was like, you have to have a backup plan, especially during because I didn't really go to film school, until like the later end in the pandemic. So we were stuck in this house of just him going like, you gotta go to school, you gotta go to school, and the only acceptance letter I got was to a college for police foundations, which is basically like, going into like security, and then you can work your way up to being a police officer. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if I looked at that letter and said no already, I'm not gonna look back at the letter and change my mind.
Like maybe.
Like that's not gonna happen. And so like I never thought about a backup plan. If it was something I wanted to do, I'm gonna do it. Like it was kind of like what we talked about before, where in a previous podcast I said like, if I'm gonna, be in a relationship, I'm gonna choose her at the end of the day. And that's the same way I view like whatever I'm gonna do in my life is like, that's all I want to do. I don't want to do any other thing. And if I do any other thing, it's just like the entrepreneurial mindset where it's just like I'm having, a bunch of other things on the side that I want to do.
Yeah.
And if that goes south, I still have the main thing. But like I'm never going to have like a backup plan B, a whole career I have to spend invest so much time into that I don't care at all whatsoever. Like I'm not trying to be in the medical field or do anything around the political science route. Like it's just no. Like it disgusts me.
Yeah.
Like I won't want to wake
Yeah.
up the next morning for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no. Bye plan B.
I think as much as we all said like hell no at the same time, I think it's also situational.
Right.
Like like for us, it's very easy to say us three.
Yeah.
We're in our 20s. This is the time. I've heard this phrase from someone. I forgot who told me, but they're like, in your 20s, you can literally do anything in the world besides kill a life or make a life.
Wow.
Unless if you want to make a life on purpose, but
Yeah.
like literally now's the time to make all the mistakes,
Yeah.
but like Dom, like your parents, for example, I don't know too much, but from what you said, like the reason why your dad was probably saying those things is because his situation, he had to provide for you.
Right.
When you have other responsibilities, then it's like you can't be as ambitious as we are. You
Mhm.
can't then it's like, okay, sometimes the world likes to say fuck you. So even though you went all in on your passion, now you have a starving child. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I think it's different for everyone. But yeah, for us, if you're in your 20s, if you don't have other responsibilities, like fuck yeah, go for it. More than not, if your gut's telling you to do something or to not to do something, it's most likely right, and you should follow that a lot. Because looking back, there's a lot of times where I didn't trust my gut and I did what someone else told me. And looking back in hindsight with more experience now, what I would have told myself was actually what my gut instinct was. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess
How about you, Ken?
those kind of things.
Advice that I would give to people probably be just do it. Sorry, no. I would say
Nike.
yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, just like try a lot of shit. See what works and see what doesn't, because you never know, right? If you just
Yeah.
really don't like it, start. Okay, at least you tried it. You can say you tried it, right? Like
Yeah.
same thing with this podcast, right? First time we tried it, it wasn't. This is our second podcast.
This is our second podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, so our first one was not the
Oh
best.
wow.
Right.
Yeah, but like, we thought it wasn't for us, but we give it another try, and now like, this is the result.
Well, the
Hell yeah.
second time that we tried it, the first time we tried it, we did something else, and then
Yeah.
it didn't work out, and then
Yeah,
third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like just always trying a bunch of new things. Like I think
Mhm.
one thing I tried doing before is trying to start like just trying to start like no sorry, just do it and not think. That's one of my advice, because I'd overthink a bunch of the plans. Like I
Dude,
literally
yeah.
stalled starting a clothing brand for how many years while my friends started a couple, and they although they didn't go through with it, it was like
Mhm.
I was overthinking, trying to make it perfect and everything, right? Like, oh, I gotta get this, I gotta do
Bro.
this. This has to be perfect. No, man, just do it and then work from that. Like adapt,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? That's like essentially what we're doing now. Like with one of the things
Yeah.
we're working on, right? And it's like
Yeah.
I stalled it for a little bit, but now it's like, all right, we just started doing the
Yeah.
shit, and now we're like, okay, now we gotta start implementing other things. And yeah, just
Yeah.
literally just like just fucking do it.
Just figure it out along the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, you'll figure it.
out
If
along the way.
Dude.
things will work out in the end.
Yeah.
Dude, also like as an artist, I think you need to remind yourself that the better you get at your craft, like a lot that's happened to me lately is like, because I am at a higher level than I was when I started. When you're new and you're naive,
Mhm.
you're doing things and you don't know they're wrong.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And when you're more experienced and you have what's right and wrong, then you get too what is it?
Like you're kind
You're
of like a
becoming too much of a
perfectionist.
perfectionist.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
becoming too much of like a perfectionist, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes you need to remind yourself that even though you're better, because now you lose that naiveness of like just doing it. Literally what you said, Ken. Just
Yeah.
fucking do it. And like I've run into that a lot lately because, like for example, I used to make a bunch of YouTube little short films before I went to Budapest. And then I went to Budapest and I was like on set for like 6 months straight. And I learned so much there, right?
Mhm.
And then when I came back, it took me so long to finally film something again because I learned so much and I felt like there was so much pressure on myself to be like,
Yeah.
oh, it has to be so much better because I learned so much. But then
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, within that time, I probably would have busted out like 6 short films
Yeah.
back in the day.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And would have actually learned more. Even if they weren't as good, I would have learned way more doing
Mhm.
that. You know what I mean?
I guess to add on to that, it's like that learn, unlearn, relearn
Mhm.
like rule when
Yeah.
it comes to anything
Mhm.
that you try to accomplish. A thing
Yeah.
that I told my students when I was teaching is that I don't care how many mistakes you make, because if you think about when a baby just started walking, they have fallen so many
Mhm.
times, but their parents don't care about all the times they've fallen. They only care about when they took their first steps.
Mhm.
So as
Mhm.
long as you keep trying, until you get to that perfect spot where you start walking,
Yeah.
then that's all that matters,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so like,
Mhm.
that's the same
Mhm.
thing when it comes to like just starting out, like just do it until you can catch your footing. And then you can, change everything afterwards. And then,
Yeah.
it'll be like when you get to a new level in your life, it's just like learning how to walk again.
Yeah.
You just got to find
Yeah.
your footing again. So
Mm-hmm.
never
Mhm.
being like letting go of your ego of like, oh, I have to relearn some things or I
Yeah.
have to learn new things.
Yeah.
Because then you
Yeah.
cap yourself at where your growth can be,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So,
I feel like I think there's actually like some scientific study behind like people that get older, your brain gets literally more hardened. So it's literally more closed-minded.
Oh,
Yeah,
So that's
shit. Yeah.
sometimes when you learn more about something, you're more closed-minded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I feel like that's really important to keep an open mind because the moment you stop learning, I think you're dying.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
done.
You know what I mean?
I say it as because like when it came to my dad and trying to convince him of new things, he just wouldn't
Mhm.
budge, right? And so I came to this realization where it's just like you can't teach an old dog new tricks,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you got to get out of that to really
Mhm.
like grow into anything else,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's where we'll end it off. Brandon, any place that where can they find you at?
Thanks for having me, guy, on first and foremost, guys. You guys are a huge fan of the pod. I had a
Thank you.
ton of
Thank you.
fun, like getting to know you guys. Um, you guys can find me on Instagram at oh shit, I just changed my name. It's Brandon H. Lee _official. There's an
It's
underscore in
gonna
there
be in
somewhere.
the bio.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, guys. Damn.
Links in the
And then
description.
and then I have a YouTube too.
Mhm.
If you search up Brandon H. Lee, I'll be there. And then a TikTok, Barndenry. He used to be.
I was there for those
That
days.
used to be my Instagram. Yeah, those days. I retired
Yes.
that name because people were coming up to me and actually thought my name was Barnden. So it's like, okay, I should change it to Brandon. And yeah, I'm gonna start a podcast soon.
Woo.
Because
Let's
I
go.
got inspired by you guys, Shout out to
Damn,
y'all.
damn.
Go.
I already filmed 2 episodes, so yeah, if your ears didn't bleed from hearing me talk, then come on over.
Yes.
Yeah, and hoping to do a lot more short films and stuff on my YouTube and bust out more content. Oh, and any anime fans,
Yo, what's up?
did you guys hear about Comic-Con, like the Comic-Con in San Diego?
Yeah.
Saint Seiya got announced, like the live action movie, Knights of the Zodiac, and I was on the stunt team for that, so that'll be out in 2023.
All right.
Right.
Check it out.
Yeah.
But as always, if you guys enjoy this podcast, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Support Brandon. Support us.
Thanks, man.
We have a lot of things coming in the near future. So stay tuned for that. We hope to have Brandon on board for that. We'll explain furthermore.
Yes,
but yeah,
yes, yes.
Yeah.
that's been episode 51.
We gotta talk about How I Met Your Mother, bro.
Oh,
Yes.
yo, 100%. I'm
That
down.
too,
I'm
that
so
too.
down. Come to
And
Toronto.
Sad Boy vibes.
Oh yeah. That's special podcast. But yeah, that's been episode
Yeah.
51, guys, with Brandon, of course. And yeah, have a good. That's been a Booth podcast. Did you say the?
Well, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tune into our Spotify and rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well.
You said Spotify twice, but I'll go with it. Anyways, have a good night. Have a good evening, wherever the fuck you are. Yeah, that's been the Booth. Peace.
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 These outros never get better.
Dude, they're a struggle.